Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Film Snobbery Live. I am your host, Nic Baisley. We are back. It's been a while. We've actually been away. I've been away at film festivals for about a month. I was rocking film festivals, and then also I was sick. I had the flu for about 2 weeks. But we are back now. I'm back with my co-host, Jerry Cavallaro. Jerry, say hello.
Hi, everyone. Yep, we're back. We've been gone way too long, Nick.
It has been
sick again, and you can't travel anymore.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere else for the rest of the year, and I'm not going anywhere probably somewhere in the beginning of the year. I'm so far behind on work at this point. I'm ahead. So we're going to talk a lot today about the film festivals that we were at, what we've been up to, and also we're going to talk about our Indiegogo campaign that I know we talked about it a little bit before we left, but I want to continue talking about that a little bit. And we actually have a very special guest with us today that we're going to talk to. He's a director, he's a producer. He has 7 films in worldwide distribution. You can get him everywhere. They're in all the stores and everything. He's also he's actually also creating a new app we're going to talk about called Power Pitch Pro. He's also the executive director, the rock star executive director of the Orlando Film Festival, which we were just at. We've been there 2 years running. He's been there 3 or 4 years now. He's been there a while. We're going to have him on right now. His name is Mr. Dan Springen. Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing, Nick?
I'm doing really well, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Jerry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm good.
All right, good deal.
Yeah.
Oh, we can all hear you.
3 years, Nick.
3? Has it been 3 years? Wow, I don't even.
3. You've been 2.
That's right. And how many years, boss Dan, have you been the executive director of the Orlando Film Festival?
My 3rd year. Jerry came out my year 1, and I don't know. I'll never forget. I'll never forget the day that Jerry actually showed up on the scene and took my my new accomplishment, my new position, I guess you would say, as the executive director. It just blew me away. I mean, I've known filmmakers for most of my adult life, and Jerry came out and he promoted his film in such a way that we created a new award just for Jerry. And now it's lived now for 3 years, and it's the Spirit Award. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Jerry's work, check out Jerry, check out Stuck Like Chuck, and anything that this guy's going to do in the future. I mean, he blew me away, and and here we are 3 years later talking on the internet. About the festival.
Yeah, and this isn't your first go-around on this, and I know that Jerry, I love having you on, but I know that Jerry loves having you on, too, because Jerry always feels like a rock star when he comes to Orlando, and I think that even without having won the award and all that kind of stuff, I think that a lot of filmmakers feel that way about Orlando, and actually, I'm going to actually hand it over to Jerry for a second. I'm going to say, Jerry, what do you feel is the best part of what makes Orlando special to you, what makes Orlando feel special to you, and why do you want to continue to go every year, even if you don't have a film in competition?
Yeah, like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you were saying. Like you said, the filmmakers feel like rock stars, and it's really how you feel there because of the people there. Like Dan and the whole staff and the volunteers at the festival. It's all about the filmmakers. Like it's really a filmmakers festival, and the number one priority is making sure the filmmakers are having a good time. They're getting an audience there, enjoying their time, and also using it to get people to see their films and build an audience. So it's a focus on the filmmakers, and that's kind of why I like going to that festival and why even if I don't have a film, I'm going to keep going down there because even without a film, you can go around and talk to people, and they are interested in whatever films you've had like previous years. Like this year, we talked about it when we got back that we met that one person who was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of that movie Stuck Like Chuck," because I was wearing a Stuck Like Chuck sticker. And you were like, "You know, that's the director of the film, right?" And he was like, "No way!" And then he came over and we started talking. And it's like that kind of connection, like the audience, it's just like a real respect for filmmakers there. And that's really what the biggest thing that I love about going down there.
Now,
it's beautiful.
Now let's talk, Dan, about what your job is at the Orlando Film Festival as the executive director, because I go to a lot of film festivals, and it seems like your role there as executive director is far more visible than in most other film festivals. I mean, you intro a lot of the movies or the filmmakers if they're going to do a Q&A. You're there kind of shaking hands, kissing babies, as it were, with everyone that is attending. You are kind of the face and the mouthpiece of that festival. What kind of compels you to be that guy versus the guy who kind of sits back and just watches the festival make money?
You know, that's a really great question, Nick. And it's what really drives me and compels me to continue doing festival, because it's certainly not monetary. Here's the thing, is that I'm a filmmaker first and foremost. And when I was asked to be a part of the Orlando Film Festival, I looked at it like, how can, because as a young filmmaker, I sent films into a lot of festivals, and I didn't even get responses. I mean, they didn't even tell me if I was in or out. And then the ones that I was in, they really kind of looked at it like it was more of a profit center than it was an artistic center. Mm-hmm. Now, for me personally, and to answer the question, what is really, at least my interpretation of my job at the Orlando Film Festival is to facilitate one thing, and that is great film. I facilitate great film. Our judges, we bring in fantastic films, independent films, from people who submit through Without a Box, and we open for submissions in March. Mm-hmm. So keep an eye out. It might be April this year, we'll see, but it might be March or April. And you know what? I lied. There's two things: facilitate great film, make sure that there's great films in our festival, and the second thing, which actually probably reigns supreme, is to keep an eye on the prize. And the mm-hmm. prize at this film festival is filmmakers, mm-hmm. Period. Here's the way I look at it. I'm a filmmaker. I got treated like dirt by a lot of film festivals when I was a young filmmaker. That doesn't happen anymore. But when that happened to me, I thought to myself, things could be better. A film festival can be better than this. I mean, you have a name out there in the world as a film festival, and you've got years underneath your belt. Why are you so dedicated to the bottom line? Mm-hmm. You should be dedicated to the filmmaker and dedicated to the films. And those films that come into the festival, you help to promote, mm-hmm. so that these young filmmakers can then again make more films. It's not like the distribution world where a young filmmaker will make a feature film, they'll take it from you, give you exactly what you need to pay your mortgage, and then they'll make millions of dollars on it.
Right.
I mean, I've had that happen to me. So, I understand the plight of the filmmaker. I've been there. I've done it. And my phone number is published on the website. The direct email address is published on the website, and filmmakers can contact me. I want this to always be remembered, even if I ever leave, and I hope to never do. Even if I leave, I want this to be remembered as a film festival for filmmakers by filmmakers, period.
Now, one of the things that you actually, and we just got a question from John Hoff in the audience here. One of the things you said was you look to curate and promote great film, and his question actually is, what makes great film? Like, is there a definition that you have for what is a great film, or what is it a combination of the film and the filmmaker? Is it, what to you is great film?
Okay, what's very interesting about that is, as a filmmaker, I spent 10 years making films, putting them into worldwide distribution, and I still do it. Before I was asked to be the executive director of the Orlando Film Festival, my film, Contract Killers, which is still in rotation on the Movie Channel, won the Orlando Film Festival. And that's where I met the guys, and they didn't even know I was an Orlando filmmaker. So flash forward, a lot of the things that I did in my career to make good film, I screwed up on, and we all will do it. But here's what I can impart right now, is that knowing what I know, if I'm going to make a feature film tomorrow, here's what I'm going to do. And who was our question by?
John Hoff.
Okay, John Hoff. John, listen, here's the things that I would take into consideration first and foremost. Start with the script. Yeah, okay, obvious, right? Start with the script, though. Make sure that the minute that the actors get it into their hands, that it's malleable, that they can actually, feel a part of the movie that they're going to be a part of. Number two is, people say actors, people say locations, people say whatever. Here's the thing, production value. Production value. You need to have a great cinematographer. Mm-hmm. You can't get a guy out of your film school who's only held, a 70 in his hands, 2 or 3 films, and try and make a run at a feature film and get it into worldwide distribution. Do not kid yourself. Get yourself somebody who has, and these cinematographers, there's plenty of guys who have multiple feature films under their belt. You can look at their work, and you can pick the person that's going to be the right choice for your film. And you know what? You may say, oh, that guy's going to want $50,000. That guy's going to want $100,000. That guy's going to want $5,000. But the thing is that everybody wants to be considered, right?
Absolutely.
And the minute that you consider someone as your cinematographer for your feature film, it makes them feel special. Then they read your script, and if they like the script, there's an outside chance that you guys as independent filmmakers will be able to get that cinematographer for pennies on the dollar. Maybe even free in some instances. But if I'm going to put my money on one person other than the director, if you guys are writers and producers and not directors, then I change the structure. The first person you have to get is the director. You got to get vision. If you're going to be the director, the next person you need to get, cinematographer. And you need to spend time with that individual to make sure that he or she is on the same platform as you are. Then the next person that I hire, well, that's saying that a producer is in place. But the next person that I hire is an art director, production designer. And there's, kind of a fine line in independent film where the production designer and the art director are usually the same person. Mm-hmm. When you're dealing with, $100,000 movies or $200,000 movies, $300,000 movies, they usually become the same person. Because the aesthetic of your film is extremely important. You can always fight the bullshit that's going to happen on set. You're going to have actors that are going to get testy. You're going to have, situations that you can't control. Rain when you're trying to shoot outdoors. You're just going to have issues that you'll have to deal with, and a producer can deal with it. But the one thing that you cannot change, is what ends up on the screen. Never, ever compromise what will end up on the screen, and you'll be a happy filmmaker for the rest of your life.
I mean, you can edit the content, but at the end of the day, you're stuck with what you shot.
You're stuck with what you shot.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
You know, look, you can even change audio. You can change the lighting a little bit by using, After Effects or color or, different, color correction programs. But at the end of the day, you need to have the images that you've captured and hopefully the audio. But the images that you captured have to be perfect. The DP, in my opinion, maybe even more so than the... never mind. I was going to say even more so than the producer. But you can have a producer who's produced 2 or 3 projects that will suffice if you have to if you have to pass on a great producer to get a great cinematographer.
Right.
I know it sounds crazy, but believe me, I'm a producer, I'm a line producer, I'm a director, and in my opinion, the most valuable person is a quality DP. Other than the director on set, quality DP.
Here in the chat room as well, David Foldy here in the chat room also says, "What about sound recordists?" And I'm actually going to even step in on that one. And I was going to say that as much as I agree with Dan on the sound, on the visuals and the cinematography of your movie being important, a lot of independent filmmakers definitely need to keep in mind that audio is the other 50% of the movie of what the audience experiences, and having springing for those 2 really quality components, the cinematography and a good DP, a good cinematographer, and a good either person on set doing the sound recording or some sort of phenomenal ability to do ADR or sound post and sound and post is can make or break a flick. One of the things I hate seeing as not only a film critic, but also someone who goes to these film festivals quite frequently, are really great looking films that sound awful, and that absolutely pisses me off. I don't know how if you agree or not on that one, Dan.
Actually, without question. Here, and I've been in this boat. Let me just give you a quick anecdote. A film that I made, my very first film that I shot, and I shot it on 16 millimeter film, not even Super 16. This is going back a few years. I shot it on 16 millimeter film, and we recorded everything live, right? Mm-hmm. I used a student, somebody in class with me, and nothing turned out. I had to, now granted, the beauty was that it was very little dialogue. It was an artsy piece, very little dialogue. So I had to loop every bit of dialogue, which is only like 3 lines in a 10-minute film, so that should tell you filmmakers that it's, not a lot. But then there was no ambient sound. I had no room tone. I had nothing. So I had to recreate this all in post. Now, the beauty of it, I was nominated for a Motion Picture Sound Engineers Award in the student category, which was the Myrna Fields, what is it? It's the, I forget what it was, but MPSE student category, we were nominated, and when I went for the award ceremony in Los Angeles, it was weird. I was sitting with the guys from Daylight, from you remember Sylvester Stallone's film Daylight?
Oh yeah.
And English Patient was there, and I mean it was just it was like unreal. But it was all sound people, so a lot of sound geeks, and I love sound geeks. Don't get me wrong. I also call camera people geeks. But I'm one of them. But, okay, so moral of that story is, yes, on-location sound has to be perfect. As a director, you need to monitor through your Comtech every bit of dialogue that's going through the recorder while you're on set, because you have to hear it. And somebody has to be there. I mean, if you don't have a professional on set, somebody has to look at these levels. I mean, just recently I did a project. It was low budget. I did it. I won't go into details on it. But what was coming through to my contact was fired off hotter than what was being recorded into the camera. And nowadays, everybody's working in digital, and you can record to the camera. Nowadays, you can actually record to your 7D. I mean, there's cameras now that have XLR inputs, so you can send XLR into your 7D. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if the levels aren't hitting, your bare mins, if you have to try and raise that up in post, you're really screwed.
Mm-hmm.
You're screwed if you can't raise it up, because then you get white noise, and it's just a mess. So, you know what, Nick, I will agree with you 100%, and I'll put your sound mixer up against your DP any day of the week. I think, the one thing that I think edges the DP out over the sound mixer is that the DP is also kind of like an art director, because as they're looking through the lens and we're all looking at the monitor, they're also looking at composition, which helps the art director. So that's probably where they get edged out. But I'll tell you what, there's nothing like getting screwed on sound in post.
Oh, totally. Now, one of the things you mentioned a couple times during the conversation here was you are a film school dude. And do you feel that your experiences in film school kind of prepared you for your career in the film industry?
Without question.
Yeah? Now, where'd you go? Tell everyone where you went. I know, but...
Valencia. Yeah, I know you guys know, but I went through the Valencia film program, which is in Orlando, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Valencia College. And just to give you a little, a brief background, when I applied to get into the film school at Valencia, Steven Spielberg, let me reiterate, Steven Spielberg was on Good Morning America and told the world that Orlando, the Valencia film program in Orlando was the best. Now let me quantify this, below the line film school on the planet.
Yep.
Steven Spielberg said this. I mean, it's all over the internet. You can find it. I mean, Steven Spielberg called Valencia Film Program the best below-the-line film program on the face of the planet. That year, there were hundreds of entries, hundreds of applications to try and get into a 40-student class. So here I am. What did I do? I thought outside of the box. I wrote a screenplay about a student and the angst of a student who's trying to get into film school. Of course, I added gunfire. I added martial arts. I had, but
you're a little overachiever. You're like a mini Jerry Cavallaro at that point.
You know what? If I can ever aspire to be as aggressive and ongoing and just a great guy with a great vision and great, unbelievable talent as Jerry, look, I'm moving in the right direction. Jerry's one of my heroes.
Wait, we're talking about Jerry Cavallaro, right?
No, I was talking about Jerry.
to be as good as the Jerry Cavallaro that Dan's talking about.
I would love to meet that guy.
Jerry, my stuck like Chuck brother. The minute, I popped that damn movie in, and I started watching, I go, okay, production values missing, this, that, and I started, but all these characters grew on me so fast. And then I realized that their storyline was really, it was touching. And you know what? Everybody goes through what you'll see in stuff like Chuck. Everybody does. You don't have to be a filmmaker. You're a human being. Everybody goes through, the plights of trying to fall in love and falling in love. And Jerry, Jerry's just, his execution, even though I know he had a very low budget, his execution was really, in my opinion, flawless. And what really toppled the whole thing for me was the end credit sequence. I'd never seen it done the way that Jerry had done it with Stuck Like Chuck. And it was beautiful. It was memorable. And he gave accolades to everybody, and really he kind of recapped the film too. These great characters that you met, he helped to, it wasn't just the end of the movie. Now you get to meet the characters. Now he's brilliant, Jerry, brilliant. And I've been shooting around for 3 years, and my party line will never shift, Jerry. He did a great job with the film, and you're a staple at the Orlando Film Festival, and I hope you're there forevermore.
Thank you. I'll be there for as long as I can to etch myself to the festival.
He's gonna ride.
Rid of me.
He's gonna ride those coattails as long as he can. Yeah. I get it.
I'll be down there in 10 years. I'm the guy that gets stuck like junk. Don't you remember that? I get stuck like junk.
Well, listen, both you guys, and now Nick, for 2 years with you, you come down, you respect the festival, and you see what we do. Here's a couple things that I just want to throw out. Is there's a few things that I just want everybody to know before we finish the call. Is Orlando Film Festival is a film festival by filmmakers for filmmakers. Period.
And that that absolutely comes through in how that festival is conducted. Every filmmaker that goes there feels good about being a filmmaker, and working in the arts is it's tough, in any arts career, and the film festival circuit can be unforgiving at times, especially if you are lucky enough to have a film that is doing well on the circuit. It could still be, as much as it's an honor to be accepted to 50 film festivals, it is grueling being on that circuit in a new town, in a new hotel, in having to find in places that you're not familiar with, meeting new people that you don't know who they are, and then being a part of these different festivals that you don't know what you're in for. And the great part about, and one of the reasons why we continue to go to Orlando, and I know that this seems like the show tonight seems just like a big commercial for the Orlando Film Festival, but quite honestly, the reason why we continue to go is because as someone who brings a filmmaker with him, Jerry, or Jerry brings me, however you want to put it, brings Jerry there, and watching how Jerry feels all year long, and to the complete polar opposite of how he feels when he's in Orlando, I look at that, and I look as a third-party observer, as a film critic, I look at the choice of films that they show, I look at the people that they invite, I look at the panels, I look at the venue, I look at the location in general, and the people who are behind the festival, and it really is just a complete experience there that is unique to that area, and unique to a lot of it's unique to themselves. A lot of other film festivals can't replicate a festival director like Dan, who is out there, and he is energetic, and he's his primary concern is to make sure that everything goes off 100% and that the filmmakers are happy. He wants to make sure that the seats are packed. He wants to make sure that the filmmaker gets their 5 minutes, in front of that audience to talk about their movie. He's there wrangling, volunteers. He's there, to help introduce panels, introduce films, introduce the after parties, and he's there. And he's not, he doesn't go. We've all got the incriminating photos and footage of Dan getting his groove on at these after parties. He's one, as would say, one of us. You know what I mean? And
I got all those videos.
Oh yeah, we do. And that being said, for those of you guys who couldn't join us at the Orlando Film Festival this past month, we will be posting all of that footage in the upcoming weeks. I've been sick, so I haven't had a chance to do as much editing as I wanted to. But I've got video from First Glance Film Festival. We still have to post. I've got a couple from them, and I've got about how many videos do you think we did for Orlando, Jerry?
I know I have 7 hours of footage.
I've got
just on my end, and that includes none of the interviews.
Yeah. And I've got.
So we got plenty of stuff.
Yeah, I think I got 5, 6, 7. I probably had about another 6 or 7 hours on my side of interviews, panels, and after party very little after party footage, but we got pictures.
I posted 250 photos or something like that to my Facebook page of it. But I'm working on putting something together and it's just I've kind of been lazy. Plus, I've had a lot of stuff, like other stuff that I've been working on. But I'd like to make a little mini documentary or something with that 7 hours of footage of our trip down there, plus our time there, and our, the whole trip back.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll get to that soon.
But one other thing we want to talk about, Dan, because you are above and beyond being the a phenomenal executive director of this film festival. You are an entrepreneur as well, sir, and you have a new app that you are getting out there. Is it already available for the iPhone and the iPad right now?
It is, but if I can, I just want to wrap up my end on the festival for anybody listening.
Sure.
If that's okay, is done without great sponsors. I mean, for many years we were free. This year we did a $5 day pass, and what that basically does is it goes to pay for the volunteers parking. Because it's downtown. I mean, you're in downtown Orlando, and it's exciting to be there. So, VIPs, which if you're a filmmaker, you come in, you submit your film, you get into the festival, you're a VIP. You have carte blanche to everything. Not to mention free Stella. Did you guys drink any Stella?
Oh.
While you were down there?
Yeah. We drank. Well, Jerry didn't have any because Jerry's not a beer dude.
I know that. but
we got Jerry to do shots this year.
Yeah, every single one of the after parties, Stella and City Beverage, they promoted us. We're promoted by and helped by United Arts. We've got just so many great sponsors. Can't go through all of them. There's 30, but there's a few that I just want to say thank you to on the radio show right now, and that's Universal Studios Production Group. We do the FAM tour for all you filmmakers out there listening. If you come to the Orlando Film Festival, you have a chance to go on the FAM tour, which is a familiarization tour of Universal Studios backlot, and it's free. It's free. It's part of your initiation. You come to the Orlando Film Festival. If you make it in with your film, you have the ability to go on this tour. It costs you nothing. You have lunch at Universal Studios, and you get to tour the backlot. You get to see the stages. You get to see the offices, and they treat you like gold. There's a bus picks you up at your hotel, and everybody goes down. Hey, Bess, you went on the FAM tour at some point, yeah?
I've done it 3 times now.
Yeah, Jerry went this year. I went last year, and and Jerry went the year before.
I'll say this: they got great cookies in the commissary. The tour is worth it alone for the cookies. And it's also a really cool tour.
Jerry, real quick, as a filmmaker, just give me, 3 seconds. I mean, what did that do for you? Anything? Did it make any sense to you?
What, the tour?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see a lot of stuff that I was not able to use for my film, but I'd love to use in the future. But it's cool getting to see, like, just be in the Universal lots and walk around. And they took us through one of the sets that they were, like, starting to tear down. They took you through, like, the lottery set, and just to see the behind the scenes. We go through the Dave School, which that's an incredible school. Like, just getting to meet the students there and talk to some of the students and see some of their work. And I love this year they took us to actually into the park, and we walked around a little bit of Universal Studios theme park to see, and they explained to us how they close off sections and actually film like music videos and stuff there. And then they showed us the finished product after being in the theme park, and we're like, I can't believe they closed this off for, hundreds of people are around you, like actually thousands of people are around you on rides and stuff, and they closed up this little section just to film like a video, and they're like, they were going through the rates and stuff. It was just it's really interesting as a filmmaker.
And not only that, Jerry, but you also mentioned that they give you an opportunity to kind of see how much does it cost as a filmmaker or producer to actually be here and film here. And I mean, we were talking, I think, that, you got a booklet that basically said something like, you could actually rent this production studio space for X amount of,
they give a full breakdown of everything, and they give you, like, the people we met, everyone gave us, like, their card, and they were like, call me and we'll personally set up a deal with you and do this. and they were telling us how they walked you to the
And it wasn't that expensive either. I mean, like
I was
comparatively,
surprised by how cheap it was. I was like, wow, if I was in Orlando and I wanted to shoot something, this is actually not as expensive as I thought. Like, you hear Universal Studios and immediately you think, like, I'd have to have $1 million production or more. And it's really not that. Like,
no.
Some of the rates for
not
some of the places were like $1,000 for a couple of days. And I was like, really?
And that includes usually not only just the locations, but that includes usually like office space and stuff like that as well, like production office space and whatnot. I mean, if you're looking at a month-to-month type of deal, I mean, hate to be the the guy selling the ShamWow here, but the fact is that, I mean, I don't know how they do it so cheap and still stay in business.
You call now, you get two.
Totally. But yeah, it's I really, even going last year as someone who's not a filmmaker, I even found value in it because it was great to see what filmmakers can utilize, what information that I can impart to my audience. And that Dave School was also phenomenal as well. I've never been the person who was a school kind of a school person, but the Dave School, the Digital Arts and Video Effects School, was really, it was just really kind of, it was cool. It was like walking through Pixar almost, or DreamWorks or something like that. Just watching what they were doing. There's some great value there. And no, you're right, Dan. Talking about the sponsors in general, a lot of very generous people and companies that put in their time and their dollars and their products in front of these filmmakers. And it's not just as a way to, I mean, obviously it's a marketing tool and all that for them, but, it's not, stuff that filmmakers, it's just to put it in front of filmmakers. It's not useless crap. I mean, there's a lot of stuff and a lot of people that help put everything together to make that festival successful, and I would say just about all of it is valuable in some way to the filmmaker getting there, which lends even more to the whole for filmmakers by filmmakers. It really does have that feeling, and I will say, I mean, every time I leave that festival usually on a high, and then a couple weeks later,
you spend 24 hours in the car with me.
And then I spent 24 hours in the car with Jerry, and then I want to die.
No, it ends on a low.
It totally ends on a low. But no, I mean...
No, just kidding, Jerry. Just kidding.
No, I will say, though, I mean, Jerry and I probably spent the first 12 hours of that trip back to New York, and then, to drop him off. We probably spent that first 12 hours probably talking about the people we met, the films we saw, and the festival as a whole. Not both what you do right and what we hope you do next year. And that's the other thing I love about a film festival like yours is there's always next year, and I always look forward to seeing how are you going to surprise me next year. And I think a lot of filmmakers feel that way.
Knowing that, and Brett and I mentioned Brett's the chairman of the board of the Orlando Film Festival, but he's a lot more than that. I mean, he's very, very hands-on. He's not just he's not just a guy in a suit. He's very hands-on on a very, very eclectic and influential board, and he is there every year. And Brett and I talk, and we're looking forward to having both of you, very, very integrated into what we do. Even a board seat, possibly coming up for you. I may talk too soon, but I've been pushing for it, and I want to have you guys on the board because I think you're both very, not only influential in your own market, but you're very in tune and very passionate about what you do. And as far as I'm concerned, I want filmmakers on the board. I think it's needed. Yeah, you got to have people that's, it's cash, it's in-kind services, it's what have you. But I think for a film festival, I think filmmakers need to be there and be a part of it. So I'm lobbying, and don't be surprised if in the next couple months you get a phone call from me. I probably divulged a little bit too much, but guys, just know that you're on my radar for that, and I appreciate absolutely absolutely everything that you've done for the festival and what you will do for the festival, because I'm not letting you go.
Well, no, and we definitely appreciate that. And speaking for myself, and I'm going to speak for Jerry as well, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong, of course. And speaking for Film Snobbery in general, one of the reasons why we keep coming back, and one of the reasons why I keep coming back, is that we believe in what you guys do. We love the for filmmakers by filmmakers, and whether or not you're, whether or not the cinema is free for all, whether it's $5 for a day pass, which, come on, that's ridiculously low pricing for if you want to go see a day of films. Whether you have 100 sponsors or whether you have 2, we love the attitude of the film festival. We love how you treat filmmakers, and above and beyond everything, one of my aspirations in what I do in my career is to make sure that people like Jerry and people like, all the people that we met at your festival are taken care of. And one of the things that makes my job easy when I go to your festival is that I don't have to worry about that. I know they're having a good time. So that lets me be able to do my job more efficiently and better. And because I don't have to worry about that. I can go in and I know that I'm going to interview people and they're going to have nothing but glowing things to say about the festival. They're going to have, and I know that working with you and Brett has always been a pleasure as well, and the rest of the board as well, Ralph, Sylvia, all of you guys, and the new addition, JJ. All of you guys are just phenomenal, and we love how we're treated when we go there. But I could be sleeping on a cot or on the floor somewhere, as long as the filmmakers are taken care of. You guys made me happy. So, yeah.
Okay, well let me throw one more thing in before we talk about Power Pitch Pro. Is what we're working on for 2012 is that if you're accepted into the festival, we're going to have housing. So it's not set in stone yet, but we have a very powerful player here locally in the Central Florida area that's looking at giving us housing for every filmmaker who makes it into the festival. So that's probably the biggest news that I have right now. It's not locked in. I don't want you to make your submission based on that if you're listening. But believe me when I tell you that Brett and I talk about stuff all the time. What is going to make it a better experience for the filmmaker? Because I know that if the filmmakers come, the stars will come, the talent will be there, and the audiences will come. We had a great turnout this year. We had a great turnout last year. It's just moral of the story is that the more filmmakers that we have at the festival, the better the experience will be for everybody, especially me. I want to meet all the filmmakers. Usually, I watched every single movie. This year, last year, I watched them all. That's 144 movies. Anyway, but that's how I get a little passionate sometimes. But that's it. I watched every single one of them. I want to meet every single one of the filmmakers that make it into this film festival. Because I truly love film. But what we got to do is, if you're okay, guys, just if we can jump on the Power Pitch Pro, talk about that for a little while.
Heck yeah, man. Let's chat about it, because I got a chance to demo this on your iPad while we were at the Orlando Film Festival a month ago, and I fell in love with it because it whether you're using it as an actual tool or whether you're using it as a game, it is awesome. So go ahead, pitch me Power Pitch Pro.
Well, here's the thing. Power Pitch Pro is the definitive application for story creation on the mobile device, period. We've done our research. When we created it for the iPad and the iPhone, the iPod Touch, we did a research. We found every single application that dealt with story creation concepts, and we made sure that our application would be better. Let me ask you a question. Listen, Nick, let me ask you a question. If you want to write a horror film and you've got writer's block, and I give you, let's say, $1 million different story ideas.
Uh-huh.
And you can sort through them and create whatever you want. Do you think that might get you out of the writer's block?
Oh, absolutely. If I'm given enough options, then I'm going to be able to kind of creatively flow from that. I'm going to get ideas just from that.
Exactly. And it's not like we're giving you, hey, here's a vampire. You have a priest. You have a cemetery. You have you have a small town. Okay, those are all great for creating that. But now take thousands and thousands and thousands of ideas that are shifted around. Now you're mixing zombies with vampires and graveyards with haunted houses and I'm just talking about the horror module.
Yeah,
I mean, we have science fiction, we have romance, we have drama, we have
it's
our PowerPitch Pro version, which, number one, PowerPitch Pro is a free application. You can get it for your iPhone, you can get it for your iPad right now. And we are beta testing our Android version. I'm very, very excited about this. We are beta testing our Android version right now. So within the week, I'm hoping to push up to not only Nook color, you'll be able to get it off the Barnes & Noble website, but you'll also be able to get it from the Android marketplace and download it to your phone. You can get the light version for free, but I'm telling you that anybody out there who's a writer of any genre, this application will give you ideas. I don't want to toot the application's horn because I happen to be a part of the creation of it.
Well, let me toot it for a second, because let me tell you something. I mean, when I saw this, it is literally helps you create the story from top to bottom, from log line to helping with the plot, to help working out mechanics like your beats and your arcs and story, including like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. I mean, it literally gives you the tools to be able to do that part of pre-production. If anything, even if it's not giving you exactly what the movie's going to be about, it can give you it's a great kind of guide wire. And like I said, even if you were just doing it just for fun, watching some of the things that this comes up with, it's like pulling the handle on a slot machine, and it's just,
yeah.
It's, you know what it is? It's 3 cherries every time. That's what it is. It's such. I love it. I really did, and I'm a hard person to impress with apps, and especially filmmaking apps, because I've done my research. But I did totally enjoyed this particular one. I only had my hands on it for like 10 minutes.
It's only one. It's the only one of its kind, and I downloaded every other writer's block app or story creation app, and there were a couple out there that had some merit. I'm not saying they're all bad, but we took it to a different level. I mean, you can develop your hero all the way down to their eye color, their hair color, physical attributes. I mean, it's all there in one application, and it's free.
Yeah, no,
your first version of it's free. That's PowerPitch Pro Lite. I recommend that everybody just drop the 99 cents and get the PowerPitch Pro, because then you can email your stories back to yourself. You can post them on Facebook. You can post them on Twitter. And you can save them on your phone, so you can always go back and keep working on it.
Yep.
PowerPitch Pro, the most powerful story creation generator for the mobile device, period.
Yeah, and once you've actually created the storyline that you're looking for, you can even email it to yourself, which is cool too, or you can email it to someone else.
That's
right. And one of the cool things too, I mean, like I said, I mean, you can get, or like you said, you can get as 20,000 feet up as you want, or you can get as granular as you want. If you want to just get your first, second, and third act out there, just so you can get some ideas with it, or if you want to even use those ideas, that's fine. But then you can totally drill down deeper. And this was actually something that I wasn't even aware of until you showed me, Dan, because I hadn't played with it that much. And I did just actually post Jerry posted a link to the app. I posted a link to the YouTube video that has the tutorial for it, so people can get an idea of how it actually looks and works and all that kind of stuff. It really, you can get as into it or as you know, or as kind of generic with it as you want. But actually, a lot of the ideas were kind of cool, and they don't all, I wouldn't say they all work 100%, like, but either way, like, what you get is fun, and you're right in terms of like a brainstorming. Like it was really cool. At the very least, it makes you think about what you're writing or what what kind of idea you do want to make.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
And here's the thing about it is that every time, like, and for those of you who actually maybe have it, you know this, but when you roll. And it comes up with your hero, your villain, your action, your plot, and your setting, which are the most important things in any good storytelling. Not every time is it going to land you a perfect story, but it allows you the ability to lock the ones you like.
Yes.
Like, say you're writing a horror story, and your hero comes up as a butcher. Right. You want to lock him in as the butcher. What if the villain comes up as a vampire, but you say, I don't want the villain to be a vampire. You roll it again. Next thing you know, the villain is the town mayor, right?
Yep.
So who knows? I mean, test it out, have fun with it. It doesn't give you a perfect story every time,
yep.
But I guarantee you this, is that if you spend more than 60 seconds spinning and creating, you'll come up with a storyline that you'll wish you had this program for your entire life.
Oh, totally.
As a writer, it's indispensable as a writer.
Yeah, no, and I mean, it's like, it's in terms of like the lock-in thing, think of like if you guys have ever played like video poker, it's kind of like that. So it's like, you might get a hand where, you got a pair of twos or whatever the hell it is, and, you want to get rid of those and you want to lock in the jack and the king or something like that. All right, so, you lock those two in, then you go to the next thing. Well, that's pretty much what Power Pitch Pro does, is it allows you to lock in the good stuff while you go and fish and roll again for the other stuff. And
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really cool... Just the functionality is so it's very I mean, I hate to pitch Apple because I hate Apple, but it's very Apple-like. It's so simple and clean, and that was one of the things that really attracted me to it. And when you showed it to me, I was like, oh, it's an app, and then I was like, it's an app I want to steal, but I couldn't because if I couldn't steal it because it's on your iPad. But the good news is like you said, you will be beta testing it for Android tablets in the near future, and I've got mine right here, so hopefully I'll be checking that out soon.
I'll send you the email. I'll send you the email tomorrow.
Cool.
Hopefully, I have the new version for the Android. You can just do it through Dropbox, put it onto your phone, test it. I mean, we can talk about this later. But
oh yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. No, I know how to do it. Absolutely.
For everybody listening, take a look at it. Here's two things, and I got to run, but unless you need me longer. Is Orlando Film Festival. If you're a filmmaker, come to the Orlando Film Festival. Whether you have a film or not, come to the Orlando Film Festival because you're going to be around filmmakers. It's not stuffy. It's not monetary. I don't want your money. I want your body. I want your body hanging out and partying with me, drinking free Stella beer. And then the next thing is Power Pitch Pro. If you're a writer in any stretch of the imagination, screenwriting, novels, whatever, order Power Pitch Pro. Just get it from the iTunes store or watch for it as Android develops. I looked at it today, and we still have about a week's worth of work. I think in 2 weeks, it'll be ready for Android and Nook Color.
Awesome.
So those are the things. Other than I love you guys, and I can't wait to see you again at the 2012 Film Festival. By the way, which will have a Mayan theme. 2012 end of the year. I'm not going to give everything away, but I think you guys will like my concept for the promo piece.
Nice. Nice.
I look forward to seeing you guys there. Every time that I know that Jerry's going to be at the festival, and Nick, you too. I mean, it just puts a smile on my face.
No, we love going there. I know Jerry. It's the one time of year I see Jerry's eyes really perk up, and because I know he's got a special place in his heart for you, especially Dan, but also that festival, that area of the world.
It's my Christmas.
It really is, and no, it's Christmas in October/November for Jerry. And I really enjoy it too. I really love making it part of my kind of festival circuit, and there are only a few festivals that I really look forward to every year, and yours is one of the ones that I try. I mean, ask Jerry. I asked Jerry. You can ask him. I'll be flat broke, and I will still sit there and try to figure out ways to make it to Orlando. And this year, part of it was doing this Kickstarter, not Kickstarter, this Indiegogo campaign that we did, and we were happy that we were able to get down there and experience what you guys had to offer again. And thank you for coming on the show and talking to us about it, and also talking to us about Power Pitch Pro. And yeah, man, just keep us in the loop on the festival. We really want to see what you guys are up to next year, and if we can be a part of that in any way, we're happy to do it.
No, you will be. And
Awesome.
guys, I appreciate being. I'm honored to be on the show, and anytime you need me, just call me.
We certainly will, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Dan Springen of the Orlando Film Festival. He's the executive director. Also, he's a director himself, DGA certified director, producer. He's got 7 films of worldwide distribution. This man is a machine, and we are happy to have him on the show. And now we're at that part of the show where normally we would cut over to some other stuff. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and we are going to... we're actually just going to skip ahead, and we're going to just talk to Jerry a little bit, see what we've been up to, and we're just going to kind of roll back and forth with that for a bit. So, Jerry, how have you been for the past month that we haven't been around? Okay, well, that's all from Jerry Cavallaro, folks.
Aside from, like we were saying, the Orlando Film Festival was like the big highlight of my last 2 months, which is kind of sad. But yeah, other than that, I recently went to that Paramount press conference, which is for We Are Movie Geeks, so I won't really talk too much about that because you hate them.
I don't hate them. I just,
I hate that I work for them.
I hate that you work for them and not me.
Well, maybe, sir.
That's the part that kills me. You've written 4 years we're going on, Jerry, in January. 4 years, and I've got one article from you.
I might write another one.
I hope you do.
But yeah, I did the Paramount press conference for Hugo and Young Adult.
Nice.
And I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about the actual conferences. And then the next conference that I'm going to, or hopefully going to for them, is I'm going to for Tintin, the conference for Tintin, which is going to be amazing just because I'm going to be in the same room with Steven Spielberg.
So you decided you're totally going.
I filled out the stuff as long as they don't say, like, yeah, your coverage for the last stuff stuck, we're not going to let you come in. Then I'm pretty much good. So, yeah, so that's coming up soon. Again, I'm not really supposed to talk about that, so I won't talk any more about that. But one thing I can talk about now, I guess, is the Animal Planet contest that we hinted at last time.
Yeah, we totally, dude, I even forgot about that.
Yeah, well, I got the okay, I can officially talk about it, so I'm going to be hunting Bigfoot.
Yeah.
For Animal Planet. I won a contest that they were doing at Comic-Con, at New York Comic-Con, which I went to just before we went to Orlando. And then on our trip back from Orlando, like, I don't know, where were we? We were like...
We were in Virginia at the time.
Okay, we were in Virginia. And I got a phone call. I got a tweet, actually, from Animal Planet, and, it leads to a phone call. We pulled to the side of the road in Virginia, and I'm on the phone with the promotions department at Animal Planet telling me that I won the grand prize contest from Comic-Con.
P.S., folks, I have all of this on video.
Yeah, this is all on video, too. There's a person in a Bigfoot costume walking around Comic-Con, and you have to take a picture of him and send the picture, tweet the picture to Animal Planet. So I did that for fun, and I was like, oh yeah, there's Bigfoot. He's really hard to find because he was standing at the exit. So I was like, wow, that was a challenge. So I took a picture and I sent like a sarcastic tweet to Animal Planet, and apparently I won. So
So congrats to Jerry. He's going to go look for Bigfoot, a childhood dream for us all.
Sometime soon I'm going to go, like in the next couple of months, I have to choose a date where they do these Bigfoot research field organization meetings, like for a weekend, where a bunch of like actual people from the Bigfoot research organization, who they have the Animal Planet show called Finding Bigfoot. They go and look for Bigfoot. So
now, I want to just remind everyone, you don't have to adjust your microphones or your computer screens or anything like that. We are actually having this ridiculous fucking conversation about going to hunt for Bigfoot.
So, yeah, I'm going to be hunting Bigfoot.
So
I just like saying that, although I guess I should be saying Finding Bigfoot to, promote the show.
I would love that if you found him, you killed him.
Yeah, well, we aren't allowed to bring machetes. We're not allowed to bring firearms, but we're allowed to bring machetes.
I think you should totally bring the most badass machete you could find.
The problem with that is that I got to fly out to it, and that's going to be a little challenging with the machete on the plane.
I think we'll drive.
So what I was thinking was fly out, buy a cheap machete at Walmart, and then as long as I don't use it to kill Bigfoot, I can return it to Walmart.
No, dude. What you can do is you can actually check the machete in your luggage.
Oh, there we go then.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. But
You know what's funny? Michelle in the chat just said, I suspect that quest will bring you to Canada. There are a few Canadian options for the tour. I have to choose. There's a couple of different locations, and depending on the location, that's the weekend I go. I'm still looking at all the different ones. There's California, there's Washington, there's West Virginia, there's Vancouver. So I'm looking into some of the Canadian ones because I'd like to go to Canada and maybe meet up with David Foley and
Canada.
Everyone else that's up in Canada, because he's been telling me for months now that I got to go to Canada because it's so easy to make a movie in Canada.
Jake Stetler says stuck like Bigfoot. That'd be funny.
That's an option.
There you go. It's you and Bigfoot stuck in a cave. It's like Daylight with Bigfoot.
Well, if you go with me, because I'm allowed to bring a guest, I haven't figured out who, although I got to do that soon because there's all insurance stuff.
Except, Jerry, you have no friends but me.
Yeah.
It's like,
So,
let's put it this
anyway.
way. It's me or your dad.
We went to it's a possibility. He would actually love that, actually.
I bet. No, I
know
totally bet he
love
would.
to do that. If he can get off work, I think he would love to do that. But, yeah, it's funny because when we were doing the Orlando, we filmed the whole thing, and I was like, Nick and Jerry, get off, haha. And then, like, the movie, if I cut that together and make a little documentary, it would actually end with me winning a trip to go and hunt Bigfoot, which would lead the way to a sequel, Nick and Jerry Get Hairy.
Oh, no, that would be awesome. Oh, that... Yeah.
Like, we could just do a series of really lo-fi documentaries of us just going places doing the weirdest shit.
One of them is just to go to the film festival. The next one is to go hunt Bigfoot.
Festival and then 30 hours back. And at the end of that one, they win a trip to go to Vancouver to hunt Bigfoot. And then that's a movie. There's a whole documentary about us going to hunt Bigfoot.
Michelle says, love it. Nick and Jerry Get Hairy. I love that. I love that title. That is a great title, sir. This is why I kept you around.
See, I'm good with titles. I'm shitty with everything else.
I agree.
It's like, no, I'm good with titles and scripts, but production values...
Oh, that's absolute dog shit.
That's why when Dan was talking about production values, I'm like, did he watch my movie? I thought he did.
Man.
Yeah.
But that said, yeah, man, we went to Orlando. Obviously, we've talked the entire show about it. After that, I actually went across the country to the Napa Valley Film Festival and did a week there. I was on a critics panel, which I got to tell you, I was really really intimidated at first. It was actually kind of funny. It was myself. Obviously you guys know I was on the panel, but I'll tell you the other people. It was Kurt Honeycutt from the Hollywood Reporter, a reporter from the San Francisco Chronicle, a reporter from the LA Times, and it was moderated by another gentleman from the New York Times. and me.
What were you doing on that panel?
Dude, I asked myself that the entire fucking trip. But the cool part was this. My anxiety actually went away after the first, like, 10, 15 minutes because I realized that, well, first of all, for those of you who don't know, and I'm not making light of it at all, I'm actually kind of disappointed because I've been reading Kurt's stuff for so many years. Kurt actually got laid off from The Hollywood Reporter, and he's been there for so many years, and I felt really bad for him. Because he's in that position. And I even let him know. I'm like, dude, if I could afford to hire you, I would do it in a heartbeat. Because the guy's just been a mainstay in film. Like, he's like, you know, a slightly lesser-known Roger Ebert. But if you know his name, you know him. He's been reporting on film for many years. So, but you know, between them, you know, between his story and also, you know, everyone else, you know, it kind of was a lot of us trying to talk about how it was trying to justify our jobs, basically, and it was like them talking about how do mainstream film critics, specifically traditional film critics, affect things like box office? Do they actually have any effect whether or not you go to see a movie or not? And the way that my anxiety kind of went away was I'm like, I work with independent filmmakers, and B, I own my own company. I have the most secure position in the fucking world compared to these people. And not only that, because I work with indies, I don't have to worry about things like box office. All I have to worry about is making sure that my audience is aware of cool new movies, cool new filmmakers, people that are doing great things in the independent film world with less of an emphasis on the money aspect of things. I mean, it's great when one of you guys out there are successful, and you know, I love that we can all share in that success to a degree. Obviously not always monetarily, but you know, you don't get that in mainstream film, and that was one of the things that I had to point out somewhat during that panel. And the other thing was that, you know, we were talking. I kind of laid in a little bit at one point. I was like, I don't think I told it was someone from Variety was there. No, well, there's someone from Variety was there, but she wasn't on the panel. It was someone from the lady from the San Francisco Chronicle. We were talking. I said, I don't think you understand how much of an impact a review from you. How much it matters to an independent filmmaker, and not like an independent filmmaker that has like a $12 million budget. I mean, like an independent filmmaker that made their movie for like, I'll go down to like $100,000, you know, maybe, or $50,000 or something. Like for them to get a review, especially a positive review, but any review from you guys, you know, LA Times, you know, San Francisco Chronicle, New York Times, all those kind of things, really has such a huge impact on their press kits and their presence and what they can offer things like distributors or other festivals that might want to show their movie, or, you know, it just helps. And I didn't, you know, it's just like, you know, you guys are focusing so much on, you know, this big budget Hollywood shit. I'm like, all this other stuff goes around and they need the help. I made a point of saying, like, Will Smith doesn't need my voice. But you guys do, or at the very least, that voice is slightly more appreciated. So that's why I do what I do, and why I, you know, was very vocal on why they should do that as well. So yeah, it was a really interesting panel. Went over very well. It was recorded. I just don't know when that recording is going to be available, but we'll get to that at some point, I'm sure. And when it becomes available, I'll make sure that you guys out there, and girls and other people, definitely have access to it. That said, it was a beautiful festival. I went to the Robert Mondavi estate for a gala event there. Of course, I was dressed in jeans and a t-shirt when everyone else there was dressed in ball gowns and tuxes.
It's okay.
You know, that's what everyone said to me, but I was like, looking particularly slobbish that day. Because it was at the end of the day, I hadn't been back to my hotel, and I was at screenings all day. So I was not at my best, you know, and even my best is...
You weren't wearing your finest hat.
I wasn't. No, I was. That's the sad part. And actually, for those of you, I'm in a sweater, and I have my beanie hat on now, but you can always tell it's this time of year. And it really shows that we're in the garage studio because it's wintertime here in Massachusetts and it's fracking cold. So it gets really chilly in here. So I'm trying to keep warm. Plus, I'm just getting over the flu. I can feel like the symptoms coming back like every damn day if I kind of overextend myself. So I'm really trying hard not to get sick again, particularly because I have a date tomorrow. But that's something else entirely different. That's another show altogether. But I figured I'd throw it out there. Actually, I want to talk about the other...
I'm not a complete loser.
No, totally. I'm not a complete loser. Totally. And it's with a girl.
I'm not like Jerry.
Not at all. But But it's, I kind of want to tell you the story. I want to tell them the story that I told you, the reason why I called you yesterday, but I don't know if she'll ever watch this. So
Probably not, so go for it.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. No, I'll be nice until I know
Okay,
otherwise.
fine. Well, then I'll go with the story from the chat room quick. Jay Stetler just said I should wear a safari hat and khakis for the search for Bigfoot. My plan was to dress like Bigfoot to try to gain his trust and confidence.
Well, so all you're going to do then, Jerry, is take off your shirt because you are a hairy motherfucker.
How dare you? You're just jealous because you have no hair.
Dude, hair escapes me like it's a fucking Alcatraz. You know, it's just, my hair rejects me like every other woman on the planet. It's bad. But,
Except for one person that wanted to go on a date with you.
except for the one person. Yeah, well, she hasn't seen me without a hat on. Which actually reminds me, I got to shave my head tonight. Either tonight or tomorrow morning, because it's like a
Are
lunch
you planning on wearing a hat to cover your face, too?
Yes, I'm going to wear a full mask and with a bottle of chloroform.
You should wear that
No.
mask hoodie I have that has the mask attached to it.
Oh, right. David
Go ahead,
Faldy
Bob
escapes
Day.
me like Alcatraz. I know, that really didn't make sense, but it was the only thing I could do.
I didn't want to even bring that up because I was like, what?
I don't know. Shave it down and you can use the rub the Buddha line. My head or my stomach? Because either way. That said, no, the girl I'm going out with tomorrow, she seems cool. I'm actually really excited. It's a blind date type of deal, so I'm excited. Anyway.
She'll have to be blind to go on a date with you. I'm sorry. I had to.
Jerry, do we want to go there? Do you want to do this right now? Is that what you want to do? You want to open up that can of worms? You want to do that? I will cut you. I will equalize you. But anyways,
Of course, Jake. How do you think I'd get him to gain my trust? He just wrote in the chat he might be sweet on you if you wear that Bigfoot costume.
yeah, I would love to see Jerry get sodomized by Bigfoot.
I would love for you to see that and tape it because I would be a millionaire. Like, I wouldn't like the experience, but I would be so rich from it.
Oh,
Like, look, Bigfoot's a rapist, and I approve. Do you realize how much money that would make just in the weird fetish porn industry?
you could. The bitch is that you couldn't even have the dignity of having it be like the most watched YouTube clip of all time because it wouldn't be safe for YouTube. It would totally
Actually,
have
it
to.
would if there's no, like, if you don't actually see it.
All right, first of all, Jerry, look, I would show it. I would have to. I'd be going for the money shot for you. I would totally film that. If Bigfoot ever sodomizes Jerry Cavallaro, you could bet dollars to donuts I will get every single frame of that from insertion to finishing move. And I'm not talking about a Hadouken.
You are a true friend.
Dude, I would do that for you. I'm a good guy like that. I would even get that ugly kind of under the ball shot. I would do that for you.
We would be rich.
In summation, Jerry would take a cock in the ass for a lot of money.
Only from Bigfoot. It has to be Bigfoot.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a qualifier. There's an extent to what he would go.
Creature.
There is an extent, a limit to what Jerry would do gay for pay for.
It's not for money. It's to prove the existence of a mythical creature. It's science.
So what you're saying is that the next part is you're gonna try to get like a head from Nessie or something like that.
It's
like
science.
it's science. Okay.
Wow, this show started on a high, talking with Dan about the Orlando Film Festival, talking about how it's all like for filmmakers and it was all like.
And now it's
stuff.
mythical
And
species or it's mythical interspecies erotica. Oh, love it. Jerry's gonna take it in the ass from a unicorn. Next on Film Snobbery Live.
Unicorn. Unicorn. That's for all the people that have watched Duck Ranch.
Yeah.
Or just know who Stuck in Marie are.
Oh, jeez.
Physical interspecies erotica.
But that said, yeah, I was away for film festival. It was really good. Yeah, Napa is a really big festival. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with Napa Valley, this festival wasn't just in the town of Napa. It encompassed the entire valley, and it was really big. Supposedly there were a lot of stars there. Dane Cook was there, Adrian Grenier was there, Scott Wolf was there. I mean, there were people there. The only problem was that I couldn't find any of them. The only one I talked to there that I would say was a star is a gentleman who was on Stargate Universe by the name of Jameel Walker, who made a movie called Make a Movie Like Spike. That was actually really, really good. I met him and his producer, Brittany Ballard, who works with Sundance. And she's done some other stuff, too. And I know she's really, really familiar to me, and I just can't place her. I have yet to do the typical IMDbing of her, or Googling of her. But she was really sweet and nice, and it was great to see their movie. It's a really cool flick. If you guys get around to seeing it in another festival, please do. Lot of wine. Holy shit. I'm not like a huge wine drinker, but I was that week. And actually special thanks goes out to Will Jarvis of the Jarvis Estates and the Jarvis Conservatory for the private tour and just hanging out, and also for dinner. Because Will, Ryan Darst, and we went to his estate, had some great, nice private tour of the winery, and we had some great wine there. And then we went out to this place called Cole's Chop House, and we had just awesome cuts of steak and other stuff. We had more wine there, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. Just in general, everything was great.
How are the movies? They're talking about like the wine, the food.
No, the movies were good. Their opening night movie, and I know that everyone is going to give me shit for this, their opening night movie was J. Edgar. Now, that said, they were able to get a Hollywood movie on the eve of its limited engagement opening, which I thought was kind of a cool get. And they had a few other, like The Descendants was there, and there were a few other like larger budget movies that were there. I made a point to see a lot of the other stuff. Like I saw Make a Movie Like Spike, which I thought was great. I saw The Hammer by Oren Kaplan. That was really, really, really good. If that doesn't get theatrical distribution, I would be shocked. Really good movie. At the very least, it's going to get some sort of, it's going to get a deal. It's definitely going to get a deal. And Oren's a really cool dude. It was great seeing him. There were some really good movies that I did get around to seeing there. I saw Sean Nelson's movie Treatment, which was okay. I saw it was okay. That's all I'll say about it. It was okay. And then there was some cool stuff that was out there. I saw a bunch of shorts too. Oh God, I'm trying to think back. I'm horrible with like names like of stuff, like movies. Especially, because I just see so many of them now, and I just got finished watching a bunch for First Glance because I'm actually now on the board of directors. There's another announcement. I'm on the board of directors for the First Glance Film Festival now, so and I'm helping them with some programming there, just screening some movies for them. So I've been kind of inundated, and I still have a bunch of reviews and stuff like that to do for and interviews and stuff like that to cut for First Glance and Orlando. So I'm really behind. Having that flu did not help, because also it sucks because normally when I come home from a film festival, I have like a good week or 2 weeks where like all my creative juices are still flowing, and so I get a lot of work done. Unfortunately, I spent those couple of weeks sick, so now I'm like having to just reacclimate to like not only life, but like now I have to get motivated to work. And for anyone out there who kind of works for themselves like I do, not working is bad, because then I don't earn money, which means I don't survive. And I want to live. I need that to live, like money and stuff. So yes. Michelle asked, did I catch The Descendants? No, I didn't. I did not have a chance to catch that. Yeah. And anyways, Ooh, God.
It didn't sound good.
No. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat room here. Someone was it? Michelle said J. Edgar was a good film. I would say it was good. I wouldn't say it was great. It was typical Eastwood. It was very long, felt very long. It did kind of catch a lot of people by surprise by being more of a love story than anything, but was fairly kind of prototypical, long, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I'm not going to go crazy on J. Edgar. It was good. I enjoyed watching it while I was watching it, but I wouldn't seek it out for a second watching. Yeah, let's see here. Anyways, so, I saw some great shorts, none of them which are coming to mind, which sucks because Ryan's movie the guy I was hanging out with there, actually a bunch of people I was hanging out there did shorts that were there, and I can't remember what any of them fucking were. Anyways, so good festival there. Glad to be home. I'm going to be catching up on reviews over the next couple of months because I've got nothing else planned. I'm not going anywhere else for the rest of the year. And then my plan now, I'm actually also working on a major/minor revamp update to the website. Just one part of the website that hopefully you guys will enjoy and interact with because we're working on a solution to some filmmakers' problems and a way to entertain hopefully you folks out there as well as give some good exposure to some extra exposure to some filmmakers and consolidate some of the areas in the site that were a little weaker than we would have liked, and but putting them in a place where they feel a little bit more natural. So I know that all sounds very vague and weird, but it should be ready probably in the next 2-3 weeks. I've been working on it kind of steadily over the past week or so as I've been kind of recuperating. So yeah, I'm really excited to get you guys a new look at that. And yes, we're back here with the FilmSnobbery Live, and you'll get us every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will also be happy to know that for you folks out there who did contribute to our Indiegogo campaign to save Film Snobbery, save the world, we actually did get and do what we said we were going to do. Here's I just showed it earlier, the new tablet that we actually got to use at film festivals and when we travel, both for marketing purposes and also as a way to kind of be a little bit more portable on the go. Hopefully we can actually do some cool updates from the tablet. Because that's both front and rear facing cameras, so hopefully we can do some stuff live on location as long as we have some Wi-Fi in the area. We did also get a new, here it is, we got a new netbook as well. And that is actually going to be used again when we go out on location. Also, obviously, we're using it tonight. So I'm really, really excited for that, to get these new things that we can use to kind of update us a little bit as we move forward into next year. And we also, above and beyond that, I had to get plane tickets to Napa. It kind of sustained me for 3 other festivals in terms of cash flow, and we got a couple bills paid. So, yay, we're awesome. We're feeling good. So thank you, everyone. But that said, I know that some of you were concerned about, hey, when I contributed and I wanted to come on the show, when can I be on the show? We are going to be opening up I guess it's going to be kind of a first come, first serve. Whenever you guys want to book yourself on the show, we'll be opening up the openings for that in the next week or so, maybe even for the new year, depending on kind of how we're looking for guests the next couple of weeks. So, so if you guys wanted to come on the show, you contributed to the campaign, you want to be on, you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, or even if you just want to just talk about movies or talk about yourself or talk about us, whatever you want to do, we can accommodate you. So we'll be putting out a registration for that so we can start getting that organized and start getting guests booked, because we had enough people to contribute that I could actually have a guest every week for the next half a year or over half a year. So I'm really kind of happy about that, and I want to thank everyone again for believing in us and what we do. So that being said, Jerry, you got anything else before we get out of here for the night?
That's about it. DirectorsCameo.com t-shirts make lovely Christmas gifts.
Hey, I got a new idea for a T-shirt for you, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I was talking to some filmmakers, and remember how we were talking earlier about how, people were saying, oh, I didn't get into Sundance, blah, 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 and we said, no shit. Well, the funny part is that only 1% of the films submitted at this year's Sundance actually got into the festival. That being said, I thought it'd be funny to make a T-shirt that said, I'm part of the 99%, in parentheses, that didn't get into Sundance.
I like that, but I don't think I want to go political again, because the last time I did that, that kind of blew up in my face. With the I'm the 1% shirts that we were selling for $10,000.
Yes.
And then a bunch of people were like, I'd actually buy that if it was really cheap, because I hate the Occupy Wall Street movement. So then I dropped the price down. I was like, well, this was a joke, but sure, you could buy it. And then they didn't.
Yeah, but...
Like, now you're the part of the 1% that... Actually, you're part of the 99% that do the website and don't buy anything.
Well, that said,
But
Jerry...
I do like that idea.
There you go. So, yeah, man. So anyway, for those of you out there that stopped by tonight, we want to thank you again for coming in. I'll throw some shout-outs here to Jake Stetler, David Foldy, Michelle, Miss Mojave Musing, and our friend... You know what the problem is? I've been using the tablet for so long, touchscreen. I just almost went to go touchscreen my freaking laptop screen, which that was bad. And also John Hoff. I also want to thank our guest. I want to thank our guest, Dan Springen, the executive director of the Orlando Film Festival and a filmmaker in his own right. And I want to thank Jerry for being on the show, obviously, as my co-host. And we'll see you guys next week. So thank you, and see you next week with more Film Snobbery Live, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want, you can catch us over every day over at twitter.com/filmsnobbery. Be sure to fan us up over at and friend us, like us, the whole 9 yards over at facebook.com/filmsnobbery. And you can read our different articles from our different contributors, reviews, and check up on us every day, every minute, every second of the year over at www.filmsnobbery.com. Good night, everybody.